Let's talk about one of the most misunderstood relationships in Jujutsu Kaisen. Suguru Geto and Satoru Gojo. Many viewers ask the same question when revisiting their story. Did Geto truly want to save Gojo, or did he simply want to use him as a weapon? The answer lies somewhere in between. Geto did want to save Gojo, but only according to his own ideology. To understand this, we need to start during their time as students. During the Hidden Inventory arc, Gojo and Geto are portrayed as the strongest duo in the Jujutsu world. They are not only powerful but balanced. They trust one another completely, fight side by side, and share a belief that they are protecting the world through their strength. At this point in the story, their ideals are aligned, even if their personalities differ. This balance begins to collapse after the Star Plasma Vessel mission. The mission fundamentally alters Geto's perception of the world. He witnesses sorcerers repeatedly risking and losing their lives to protect non-sorcerers, people who cannot see curses, who fear sorcerers, and who indirectly give birth to curses through negative emotions. These events slowly push Geto toward a disturbing realization. In his mind, curses are not the true problem. Humans are. From this point forward, Geto no longer views himself as a protector. Instead, he begins to see himself as someone who must pass judgment. This is where Gojo becomes central to Geto's worldview. Gojo Satoru is undeniably the strongest sorcerer alive. Geto is fully aware of this, as is everyone else. Because of that strength, Geto never seriously attempts to kill Gojo. This is not because he lacks the ability or the opportunity, but because he does not want Gojo dead. Rather than seeing Gojo as an enemy, Geto views him as wasted potential. In Geto's eyes, Gojo is trapped by the Jujutsu system, forced to protect non-sorcerers, whom Geto derogatorily refers to as monkeys, and forced to maintain a world order that Geto believes is fundamentally broken. From this perspective, saving Gojo does not mean protecting him emotionally or physically. It means freeing him from the system. This is why it is not entirely wrong to say that Geto wanted to save Gojo. However, Geto's version of salvation is not compassionate. It is ideological. But Geto's idea of saving wasn't emotional or compassionate. It was ideological. He believed that if Gojo joined him, the world would finally make sense. In Geto's perfect world, sorcerers rule, curses disappear, and Gojo becomes the ultimate weapon to enforce that new order. Not a friend, not a person, a symbol of power. That's why Geto never begged Gojo, never tried to emotionally convince him. He simply presented his worldview and waited. And when Gojo rejected it, that was the final proof to Geto that Gojo chose the system over him. On the other side, Gojo's perspective was completely different. Gojo wanted to save Geto the person, not the ideology, not the power. That's why Gojo hesitated. That's why he didn't stop Geto sooner. That's why, even at the end, he let Geto speak. And when Gojo finally killed Geto, it wasn't out of anger. It was mercy. Because by that point, Geto wasn't someone who could be healed. Not by reverse curse technique. Not by strength. Not by friendship. Their tragedy isn't about who was stronger. It's about what they wanted to protect. Gojo wanted to protect people. Geto wanted to protect sorcerers. And when those ideals collided, there was no timeline where they could stand side by side again. So yes, Geto wanted to save Gojo, but not as a friend, as a weapon. And that's what makes their story one of the most painful in Jujutsu Kaisen.